Matt Duffield from mattduffieldtrading.com, and tonight I'm doing a hot penny stock recap on VVUS, WGBS, and ASTI. And before I get started, I would like to remind you this video is for educational purposes only. I'm not a registered investment advisor, so you do need to make your own decisions, and I want to remind you penny stock trading can be very risky and you can lose a lot of money, so be careful. Okay, so let's start off with VVUS. This was a big runner this morning and kind of one of the first plays that the penny stock traders were watching this morning. And as you can see, it had a gap higher this morning from $1.20 up to not even that high, really, $1.28. And this quickly took off to $1.40. And I think it was right in here, Tim Sykes bought into it around $1.40, I think. And right after he bought, that's what, well, I'm not going to say that's what caused it, but price quickly shot up to $1.55. So by the time I was alerted to this, I think this maybe had come down to around $1.50. I thought about buying it. I did not, and I'll explain why. If you go out to the 5-minute chart, actually, you know what? I'm sorry, daily chart. And right here, this is why. There is some resistance right there at about $1.67. And if you go back to the intraday time frame, 1-minute chart, it peaked today at, well, $1.66, right there at that resistance level. So when I saw this at $1.50, I thought, well, I could maybe have 10% upside. There's almost 10% downside as well, back to the support level. So I stayed away, and rightfully so, because once it peaked up here, it died off for the rest of the day and sold off all the way down to $1.35. And if you saw my video last night, this is very similar to CAPN. The chart pattern was very similar, and that one sold off even more today, as I expected, down to I think it was about the 220 support level, and traded flat from there. So I kind of have the same expectations for this one. With this kind of move lower, I think it's just going to drift a bit lower tomorrow and trade sideways. This is a billionaire play, meaning Carl Icahn is interested in this stock. That was the same thing with OHRP, which I highlighted last night, and look what it did today. After a big move higher yesterday, it sold off very strongly, pretty much lost all of its gains. So billionaire play or not, I'm not expecting too much out of VVUS tomorrow. I'll pretty much be looking for new plays. So let's move on to WGBS. There we go. That was the other big runner this morning. Similar to VVUS, this didn't gap up very much, but it took off very quickly. You can see from $1.25 to $2 within 10 minutes. This is a 5-minute chart. After it hit $2, it sold off, held around $1.60, and kind of triangulated right in here and pushed higher one more time. And I was watching it in here. I think somewhere around $1.80 I saw this. But I only planned on buying if it broke above $2. And it did. But quickly failed. Let's see if we can see that on the 1-minute chart. I mean, it was pretty much for a 1-minute time frame where it spiked higher to 214, and it happened so quickly, it was even seconds, that I was like, oh, I missed it. But just seconds later, it came back under $2. So it was a failed breakout. This could have been a huge move. I was watching the next resistance level. A move above $2 could have meant $2.30, and above that, maybe even $2.60. So it could have been a great play. But that's the thing. If you would have jumped on as soon as price broke above this morning high at $2, you'd want to quickly take profits or take a small loss once this fails, and that's going to happen. But you just have to do that, because there will be other times where this spikes 20, 30, 40% more, and that'll make up for any time or all these times that you have to take a 1 or 2% loss. But you got to be disciplined. That was pretty much it for the day. It did consolidate here into a bull flag pattern, and created a bullish engulfing right in here. And I tweeted, hey, there's a bull flag, there's a bullish engulfing. You know, this could be a great setup. I was watching it. But once again, I would only buy on a break above $2. And as you can see, the rally failed. It hit a high of $1.98 here. So that was pretty much it for the day. After that, it sold off. It broke this lower trend line. I can draw that in there for you. Can be a little liberal, something like that. Once it broke under there, I figured it was done. And sure enough, it came down to the all the way down to the $1.50 level, bounced into the close back to $1.81. And that does show promise. That is a fairly strong bounce into close. The volume isn't anything too spectacular, but it's worth watching. So I will keep this on my radar for tomorrow, but I will only be buying on a strong break above $2. In the last play, this is the big one for the day and the most hopeful for tomorrow. ASTI. This has been in play for over a week now. Yeah, look at last week when this went from 10 cents up to 30 cents. Consolidated, came back down to 20. And, you know, regained momentum as it pushed higher yesterday to 25, gapped higher this morning around 27, and started flirting with this 30-cent level. And that's the level I've been watching. I'll show you why. On the 60-minute chart, I think you can see it here. It's not very clear. You kind of have an inverse head and shoulders. You have a left shoulder head, and then the right shoulder, which completed today with the move to 30 cents. So I've been watching this, expecting a big rally on a break above 30 cents. And let's go to the intraday time frame. You can see once 30 cents broke convincingly, it shot up to 35 cents by the close. So this was an excellent play. You had to be a little patient. It's a little choppy. The spread on this one is it's kind of tough. You almost have to buy at the ask because the spread is so large. Yeah, it just depends on when you're buying. But this one has a lot of potential. If you go out to the daily chart, you're pretty much looking at the next resistance level. You can't even count this as resistance really until 60 cents a share, maybe 50 cents. So with the breakout at the close and a closing high of 34 cents, and actually in after hours trading, this hit, I think it was 41 cents for the high and closed the after hours session around 38 cents or 39. So this shows big promise for tomorrow. It's going to be a hot play. It's probably going to gap up. It's a tough call. I don't know that I'd be buying on a gap up, but for anyone already in that was smart enough to buy around 25, 30 cents today, you very well could be looking at 40 cents to 50 cents per share just tomorrow. So that is excellent. Unfortunately, I missed this play. I've been watching it, waiting to get in, but I had funds tied up, so I didn't get to play it. And also in my IRA account, you can't purchase penny stocks under $1, so I was tied up there as well. So again, I didn't make any trades today. I was patient. The market was a little nasty towards the end of the session. I'm going to be watching tomorrow morning, for the next breakout play. So good luck tomorrow, guys.